What's happening, Shredder Nation? Happy Wednesday. Heather Sika Leonard, head of the board, coming to you with a very special edition of our ER Shred Come Alive call. What's special about this week's edition is it's in honor of our upcoming 2-year anniversary next week. Next week, ER Shred marks its 2 years, and we have seen so many lives transformed. And as a board, this is bigger than we ever thought it was going to be, and it keeps growing. And we're really excited for what the next 2, 5, 10 years are going to bring for us. We have seen so many people come alive. We have seen so many lives changed and impacted. We have seen people regain their health, regain their vitality. We are so proud of all of you here as part of Shredder Nation. And so for our Wednesday night testimonials call, the board would like to recognize some of the amazing shares that we've seen over the last 2 years. Now, please understand, we know how many of you are out here and we can't get to them all. We are proud of all of you. We support all of you. We are all here cheering you on. I hope you guys enjoy tonight's special edition.
Hey, testing 1, 2, 3.
Testing 1, 2, 3.
All right, I got her. Does everybody else got her? We got you. All right.
Cool.
Welcome.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm so good.
You're a breath of fresh air. You're so young. You're like the youngest we've ever had on this call, maybe.
I know. I've been told.
Oh, cool. So you are Kyla, and where are you calling from?
I am calling from Queen Creek, Arizona, but I just got here from Salem, Oregon.
Okay, very cool. And who was it that shared ER Shred with you?
Jason and Markle Young. They're my aunt and uncle. I'm living with them for a while.
Oh, fun.
Yes.
We love them. What good timing this week, with them being announced as that. That's great.
I saw that. It was so cute.
And Kyla, what is your passion?
My passion, I love beauty and photography and music. But one of my biggest goals in life has really just been figuring out what the is wrong with my stomach. Like,
okay. I'm sorry. That took me by surprise. You're a real person. I love real people. We all do. So you're in the right place.
I just had to say she's awesome.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. So you said figure out what the beep is wrong with your stomach.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So you're I have that in common with you.
Mm-hmm.
From the age of 18 until the age of 40, I thought the exact same thing.
Mm-hmm.
So what's your journey? What's your ER Shred story?
My ER Shred story. I just finished my first 11 day with Jason and Markle, which was awesome because I had people there doing the same thing as me, being able to motivate me. And at first I was a little skeptical just because I cannot have dairy. So I was like, I usually don't do good on whey shakes, but then they were like, let's incubate them. I've done completely fine. And then I also have never ate red meat. That just wasn't my thing. I couldn't break it down. I couldn't process it. So I thought
too. Yep.
But I mean, it's been really, really amazing.
What does amazing look like? What's unfolded for you?
Well, okay. So let's just go all the way back, you guys.
Yeah.
I missed 4 years of high school, constantly being sick with inflammation and always in the hospital. I was literally a lab rat. I have been through every test. I have done every diet, every elimination process you can possibly think of, and nothing ever worked for me. I've literally been to 20 doctors who all could not figure out what was wrong. and me already wanting to like give up on myself, and then having like all these doctors where I'm like, you guys are supposed to know what you're talking about,
Yeah.
kind of like give up on me as well. Like, okay, I'm going to refer you to this person, next person, I'm going to refer you to this person, like maybe they can figure it out. I'm like, okay, well, I don't really know what to do. Like, it was just really, really hard, because coming with that not being healthy gut wise was a lot of mental health issues. So, I mean, just being like sick and also being in my head.
Yeah. There's a
Thinking that there
connection
was
there. There's a connection there when you're not.
for myself, it was like, it got depressing, you know?
Yeah.
And so I missed all of high school. I've missed a lot of my life, just being sick, not wanting to go out because I'm constantly in pain, always being inflamed, always being bloated, always just being in discomfort, which I mean, a lot of people never really believed or saw that because I'm so young. But then, I mean, I came here and I tried it out and I've been doing it. I've lost 13 pounds. I've been here for less than a month.
All
And
right.
I only did the 11-day once. I think I lost like 3 pounds within my 11-day. But before that, I had already lost 10 just from doing the steaks and shakes. I was like, it was kind of like mind blowing, because before, like my body, when like my body was constantly in starvation mode, so it was always holding on to whatever it could.
Yeah.
So like I have leaky gut syndrome. So
Yeah.
after all the doctors, I ended up going to a naturopath. I took 1,000 supplements a day trying to help myself. And I was on a liquid diet, which just completely sucked.
And you're probably spending a good $500 a month on supplements, I would bet.
It really is insane. So insane. But since being here, I haven't taken a single supplement. I haven't had any inflammation. I usually have really bad sleep insomnia, but I've been sleeping so well. I wake up energized, whereas before, like I'm just not the person to get out of bed in the morning. Like I will just don't want to get out of bed. But part of that being is because I would just wake up inflamed.
Yeah.
And like being in discomfort all the time, like you just want to lay in bed, you don't want to do anything. So it's been super exciting for me to find something that I feel like has given me my life back, my energy. I'm not in pain, my body is not hoarding all the nutrients. I've been really thriving here.
Good God.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Thank you so much. You are very mature for your age. I want to say that. And the reason I think that's a compliment, the reason I say that, and I hope you take it as a compliment, is because you're opening up, and that is a very hard thing to do. Yeah. Even when I opened up about my challenges at 40 years old was the first time that I really opened up publicly about my challenges. And they weren't as severe as yours, but I was still humiliated because I wanted people to think there wasn't anything wrong with me.
Yeah. Well, and it's just like a lot of people can't relate from my experience. Like everybody that I went to school with was just like, what's wrong with you? Like you're lying, like you just don't want to come to school. And then me, it's my life. I'm at the hospital every single day and nobody believes me. But I think a part of me being able to open up is just having to have these conversations constantly all the time with people. And that, and like also like now, like these days, I see a lot more young women, especially with stomach issues, that I can relate to and talk to and be like, hey, like I've dealt with that before, and maybe try this or this or this, like wanting to help myself, but also wanting to help others because I know how bad it sucks.
Yeah. Yeah. I want to tell you, you know, at 40 years old, I literally, I had the same experience what you've had. And I remember saying to my wife, we have to help people with this knowledge. And I remember my wife looking at me and she said, I know. And I remember feeling like scared. And I was scared because I thought we've discovered something and I don't know how to share it with people. I don't know how it will be received. We might get made fun of. We might have people think that, we're fanatical, or that we've literally lost our good sense. We had a reputation we thought to uphold, but the motivation to help people was stronger. Yeah. And I hope you'll join us in that effort. I really do, because wow, I just have to say that. Wow. I hope you'll join us in that effort, because there's just too many people who are hurting, and they're silent. They're silent.
Way too many.
Silently suffering. Hey, you know what I learned? Secrets. Our secrets make us sick.
Yeah, you can't hold on to that. Can't.
Our secrets make us sick. And the reason is because we're not being genuine, and we're not allowing people to get to know the real us. And part of humanity is that we need each other. And if we don't open up to other people, we are not employing a very important part of being human. We really need to support each other. How do you feel about your aunt and your uncle now that they shared that with you?
I love them. I'm so excited. I've never seen them so happy and thriving. And that is a lot, I think, to do with you and Crystal, like bringing this to the table for them, because I know that Jason and Marcole have really struggled for a really long time. And so it's just been super exciting to see them and everybody else here share their stories.
Yeah.
I think it's amazing.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
You're amazing. You're a gift. Thank you so much. We all love you.
Thank you for having me.
I hope that, I don't know if you're on Facebook, because
I am.
All right. That makes me feel younger. Thank you. So please keep showing up, and we'll look forward to getting to know you better. And thank you so much.
Of course. Thank you.
Was amazing. The last guest of the night is the very gift that I promised, and that is the Heart of ER Shred. That is Mimi Terrell, and Mimi is going to share an update. And yesterday, believe it or not, was Mimi's 500th day shredding. Are you out there, Mimi?
500 days. And I've been marking my days since about the third shred, because I'm like, how many days have I felt this good? And I would look up. So now when I tap on Google, the very top selection for me is how many days since October 3rd, 2020. It's like 2 taps and I get my answer. And it's so much fun. So much.
Well, I love your gear. You look awesome. Yeah. You totally rock it. You totally look the part. And I know that you have a lot to share in the way of update. And so real quick though, it's important. Where are you calling from?
Calling from West Palm Beach, Florida.
West Palm Beach, Florida. Who shared ER Shred with you?
My sister, Tracy Williford.
Yes. And she is by profession a
physical therapist.
Yes.
And she also has an IIN degree. And she's done some work and certified herself with Sky Schools so that she can bring breathing techniques to help relieve stress of school-age children. So she's working on that. She's
credible. She's got a lot of credibility. I've worked with her. She's phenomenal. So
she's a true servant heart. A true servant heart.
Yeah. So are you. Okay. And what is your passion?
My passion. I have 2 real passions besides being a professional entertainer. My heart goes out to abandoned and sick, the feral animals, abandoned animals, and also the elderly, who in a lot of respects are also abandoned. Yeah. You know, when you get to be a certain age and you are of 2 generations back, people in the present world tend to just discount you. They look past you, and my heart is with the people of my parents' age in their 80s and 90s, and because they're the ones who brought us up. They're the ones who formed where we are today, and so I give a lot of props to my dad, who was a professional clown. For him, he had a servant heart, and he used to stay after the service and hug everybody, just hug people. So my mom would say, George, I'm taking the car to church today so I can go home and watch football. And he would stay there and hug people.
That is so cool. Oh my gosh. Well, I want to declare that the heart of ER Shred has spoken, and part of ER Shred culture is that we will not overlook the elderly. So thank you for that. That's beautiful.
You're welcome. Yeah.
And give us, how about an update?
Okay, well, let me just say, my first ER Shred, 11 days, I didn't have all of the supplies I needed. All of my products weren't in. So I incubated the regular Isagenix shakes for 5 days before I had the Iso Pro to add to them. So I had 5 days of prep of just putting in the good, solid foods, and I didn't have my bone broth yet. But during my first 11 days, I lost 14 pounds and 18 inches. But the biggest difference that I saw was the hard place underneath my ribs went flat, because it was like distended right below my ribs. I stayed in shake and steak for the full 2 weeks and didn't add anything for 3 shreds. So between shred 1 and shred 3, I lost an additional 3 inches off of my waist alone. My total weight loss is 24 pounds and 35 inches. When I got to about shred 8, I think, I posted that, oh my gosh, the cellulite that's been hanging around my lower belly is starting to go away. I attribute that to autophagy, to staying in the consistent cleansing, getting to the 60 hours and getting my autophagy done, because that's what, from what I've read, that's what happens with the people who are morbidly obese. They do consistent fasting, and they're able to keep from having skin surgery. So everything about the ER Shred for me was basically a human experience. I remember a total upgrade and a change for me. I'm bringing back my notes because I turned my phone upside down.
Mimi, can I tell you something real quick?
Yeah. Yes.
Do me a favor. There is no rush.
Okay.
All right. Just take your time. And I know this, I know how meaningful this is to everyone. And I know you're a little bit nervous, because I know how it is. The new generation, they want to rush and rip through everything. Not ER shredders. Okay. So just kind of collect yourself, take a big deep breath, and by the way, you look fantastic. I know you just got better from a nasty sickness, but what else is on your heart?
I want to say that when I got sick in December, I was sick, like, I only had the illness for probably 2 weeks solid, ran a fever for 10 days. But my energy and everything, I'm still finding that I'm not 100% back yet.
Yeah.
And I will say that I wasn't able to do any of my nutrition for 3 days. And when I did finally eat after 3 days, it was my mother's comfort food. She sent me soup and some homemade jams. And I'll tell you this, it woke up my sugar addiction to the point where I'm still every day having to consciously avoid putting something in that will trigger that. So I just know that with every day, like Susan would send to me, every day better, right? And I would say, right. Or I'd give her the thumbs up because I really didn't want to answer, but I'm like, that's true.
She was very, of all the people in ER Shred, she was daily asking me how you were. And I know she was checking in on you as well. That's Susan Rothman, our head of the health professional board.
Well, I'll tell you, with coming alive, which did happen for me on day 5, On day 4, I had so much energy, and I'm like, this is unreal that I am cleansing, and I'm moving all this sand. I was asked to move sand out of a stall into a paddock, and I took a shovel and moved like a 20 by 25 stall of wet and dry sand. And I just chucked it out into the paddock, and then I went and raked it down, and I just took pictures along the way, full of sweat. And, you know, I can't believe the total upgrade to my human self. I can tell you this, when I came alive, I was able to have my old endurance back, my stamina, just from doing 4 hours in the morning and doing 4 hours in the afternoon of pretty physical labor. Then everything about my mental capabilities started feeling brighter and more energetic, like more committed, like I can do this. I did lean into the guides. We didn't have the guides back then, but we had a thread. And I remember Jesse would come on and say certain things, and I would reach out to several people, and Jesse encouraged me to increase my calories. I'm like, what? Okay. So, you know, I know. And let me tell you, I was doing what I called the leg project back then, because people were telling me, you're so skinny. And it was just like not a compliment at all. Within just like 2 months time, I was able to put full on from top to bottom 8 inches on each leg, just because I got my runner's leg back.
Strength.
Yes.
You look, I mean, listen, you're coming off a very serious sickness.
Yeah.
You look great, by the way.
Thank you.
But the reason that I'm loving this so much is I'm sure there's a lot of others out there. I'm reminiscing. I remember the posts of you shoveling the stalls. I remember the posts of you on the bike. I remember you talking about your legs growing. And, you know, there's a reason you're the heart of ER Shred, is because you really, for all of us, you captured this. What was that that started coming out of you that was like your kid's self? What was that all about?
Well, you know, a lot is said about drug addicts and alcoholics, that when you start using, you stop maturing. But I don't believe that's so much the reason why I'm a kid at heart. I grew up as a performing clown on stage. My dad was silly. I mean, our school would have fire drills, and he would disconnect the hose on the house, put on a toy fireman's hat, and come running across the street while all the kids were in the front yard, you know, with the fire drill. And he would be, I'll save you. That was my dad. And he was a banker and a pilot for the Air Force. But he's always had that kid at heart thing. And for me, I think I've always been a champion of other people, but ER Shred made me realize that I can champion myself without feeling like I'm doing the wrong thing. So once I started feeling like I was taking care of me, then everything had a different kind of meaning for me. I literally, my heart just, it's like it swelled to the proportion of, I was leading with my heart. I don't even know that I ever led with my heart as a kid, except that, you know, when kids get to choose who's going to be on what team, and there was always the poor kid, the fat kid, the outcast that never got picked on the teams. I would pick one of those kids first, and then I would pick. Then I would pick the best athlete that was left, and then I would pick another one of those kids. And my team was made up of a conglomerate of everybody, and that's who I was from 3rd grade on. I took gymnastics. I was a runner. I went to Junior Olympics. I threw away my possibility of going to the Olympics, but it wasn't part of what was meant to be my journey. I did what I did, running from the age of 8 until I was 17, and then I quit. But listen, I became a professional clown, and I taught clown school, and I've been on stage, and I go and celebrate somebody's first year of life with an entire 3 generations of a family.
Yeah, I want to plug that. I want to plug, if you guys don't know who Mimi Terrell is, the Heart of ER Shred, then please go check out our YouTube channel. She's got a lot of songs that she's written, a lot of ditties. She's sung a lot of songs. And she's provided a tremendous amount of content. I want to acknowledge you because you've made it safe for other people to be their true self.
Oh, thank you. And you know, here's the thing. I've never felt like I was good enough, and I don't know where that came from, except somewhere inside, I've always felt like I could do better. So when I see someone, I recognize phrases, and I kind of feel through the words that I'm reading, oh man, this person needs a little love hit. And I'll go to Messenger and just like grab them up and chat, chat for a while.
Yeah.
I do have a song I'd like to share tonight.
Okay. All right.
Okay. All right. Let's see. I got this up. All right. So I'm going to do it in the style of postmodern jukebox. This is Folsom Prison Blues by Johnny Cash, but I'm going to do it with a little bit of different flair. There we go. And I wrote this at 3 a.m. about 5 days ago when I realized my 500 days was coming up. I hear the roosters crowing. It's time to get on up. I'll get my coffee brewing and put butter in my cup. A new day is a dawning. I know I'm feeling fine. 'Cause I slept just like a baby, and life is so sublime. Now some of us have got jobs and some of us do not, but all of us are showing that our lives have changed a lot. We're all just ER shredding and live the lifestyle too. And we're carrying the message that you can join our crew. Do 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 do. La 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 la. Now your shred is coming. It's just 11 days. But when you wake up on day 12, you will have changed your ways. We're all just loving shredding. It's become lifestyle. And I know that we'll be shredding for a long, long while. Now some of us are farmers and some have got degrees. Some pull out with fifth wheels and some just like to shoot the breeze. Our ER shreds a village and we embrace our tribe. And our spirit guy named Lenny says we have come alive. And our ear shreds a village, and we embrace our tribe. Our spirit guy named Lenny says we have come alive.
All right, hold tight there. That you know that deserves an ovation. You know that deserves. Let me just. Can you just look right here at the gallery? Can everybody go? Feel free to unmute. That deserves some serious.
Thank you.
That was awesome. Thank you so much.
That was awesome,
Mimi.
Great job, Mimi.
Way to go, sis.
Fabulous.
God,
We
I think
love you.
Call it the Shredders Folsom Blues or something like that. I have to figure out a title.
That was the best.
Oh my God,
Thank you.
Mimi, I think you're just getting better. That
was my favorite one.
That's my favorite one.
Right?
It was fantastic.
Me
What
too.
I'd like
Sure.
to
My
do,
favorite.
I'd like to, Heather, if we don't have every song in a location where there's like a playlist.
We
I mean,
have a Music
Oh,
with
we do.
Mel
We do.
playlist on our YouTube channel, and that will be edited out.
Of course
and
we
added.
do.
it's hilarious that I didn't know that. I'm sorry. There's a lot to keep track
yeah.
of, but I'm glad we could announce
I got this. Don't you worry. Let me organize.
I messed up one line, but you know what? I'm not striving for protection. I'm for perfection. What I'm striving for now is to accept the fact that I'm not perfect.
Yeah.
And it's a performance.
Let me mute everybody here. Mimi, hold on.
All right.
Let's see what I did. I made a boo-boo here. 1 second. Just need to, everybody, if you
need to
could mute
unmute?
yourself, that'd be awesome because I can't see that one screen that shows that. Okay, Mimi, thank you so much.
You're
You
welcome.
are a gift. I hope everybody understands why I said there was a special gift at the end of the call.
Yeah.
You are the gift. I want you to know how much we love you. You're just unbelievable. I mean, good God, I wish I had your talents. I really do. I'm envious, but you're my friend, and I'm just gonna say, you know what? She's a part of me, and I get to appreciate that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
If not for you and your kindness that you've shown to me every single time I reached out to you, if not for you and your wife, Crystal, and so many others, I wouldn't be feeling so whole in my personal self. And that's the truth. For everybody I've talked to on Messenger, for everybody who's posted that comment on, I want you to know I love you so much.
Well, I think we all believe it. I want to let superhero. We're going to close out the call with another special individual who has another important announcement to share. This has been an incredible call. I hope that everybody has been able to really take this in. And there really is no better way to close out this call. Of course, we'll have our health professional, our holistic nurse, Susan Rothman, is going to close us out at the very end, just sharing how she feels about everything that was said and sending us off. But we have Jessica Teshier here. Are you there, Jessica?
Yes, I am.
Well, hello there.
Hi, how are you?
I was so honored that you called me today. It meant a great deal to me. I was so excited to see your name calling me, and I was grateful that I was available at the time. So I know that, well, real quick, let's rip through it. Let's be appropriate for people that don't know you. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Norton, Vermont.
Norton, Vermont. I know you are another ER Shred Heart of ER Shred, Mimi Terrell Heart of ER Shred Award recipient. Who shared ER Shred with you?
Mickey Voter.
Yep, Mickey Voter. That's right, of course. And she's amazing. And then also, what is your passion?
Well, the passions change. Of course, my animals, my kids, but most of all, life. Just living life and enjoying every moment.
Well, that sounds yummy. Thank you. I love that. I can get with that. So I know that you have some wonderful, significant news to share. I'm not going to, I want you to just be able to open up and share with everybody. I also asked if you would share about your coming together with Heather Sika Leonard, along with you and your daughter Jennifer and Coleman Clifford. These are all very significant people in this community. So maybe you can tell us about that too.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'll start with that. You know, this weekend was absolutely amazing. Probably one of the best times I've had since being associated with Isagenix. Coleman had posted, I don't know, a few months ago about the Fight for Air Boston stair climb, and back and forth talking about different things. And my daughter looks at me at the time, and mind you, at the time I was still in a walking cast, and she's like, "Mom, we're going to Boston to do this." And I looked at her and went, "What?" She's like, "No," she goes, "I need one more community service thing for my graduation," which she graduates next month. She goes, "That's going to be my community service." She goes, "I'm going to climb in honor of my grandmother," which is my mother, who passed away just recently, a year ago, from lung cancer. She goes, "I want to climb with them." She goes, "But I want to meet these people." She's like, "I absolutely love when Coleman talks." She goes, he's awesome. She's
He's
like,
the voice of ER Shred. We got to put it out there. He's all about the butter. And
"You'll forward to a million," says Heather shouted across the streets of Boston when we saw him. It was amazing. Of course, Heather's trying to find parking, and we're in a group chat, and we're walking down the road. And of course, I've never met Heather face to face, just through this. And I hear her screaming from across the parking lot, yelling our name. And it's like, how awesome is this? We've never physically met in person. And just because of these connections, she's hollering to me, I'm hollering to her. And it's like, yeah, knew exactly where she was and connected. And then we, same thing when we're waiting for Coleman to show up and we see him coming. I'm about to holler, hey, you have any butter? And Heather's yelling. Just an amazing experience. And, so fulfill is so much, I can't even put it into words of how awesome it was to connect on a personal level with, with these guys, that I consider friends, and I'm hoping they feel the same way.
Were they as good in person as they are online?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. It just, the best part is in person, we got to give each other a hug rather than, hey, and that was probably the best part. And, it was just, like I said, meeting people.
It was meaningful for me. I was on vacation. I seen these pictures. What the hell is happening? Like, I didn't compute that you guys had made such a plan, and there you guys all were together. And of course, I quickly made the connection of what y'all were doing. And it was so meaningful for me that you guys all got together like that. It touched my heart.
Yeah, it was, like I said, it's one of those experiences that, okay, we're going back next year. I've got people on my team that, hey, I want to come, I want to be there, let's go. And I can't wait, because I'm like, okay, next year we're going back with 4 or 5 more people from up here, and, just meeting up with hopefully the same crew and then some, and, just expanding the thing. And, my daughter stole my shred shirt, so she was representing because she took it. We're getting up in the morning, and she's like, I was up and dressed first. Sucks to be you, Mom.
Good for her.
So,
oh man, good for her.
Teenagers, but she's great, and like I said, I think everybody had a great time, and we're looking at different experiences. Jennifer, she wanted to just go and experience it, and then she finished top 5 in her age group, which was amazing for her. Heather did an amazing job. I can't remember exactly where she was, but I know she was top 10. My goal was just to finish and don't fall flat on my face. I mean, that was my whole goal.
Was it challenging?
It was challenging, but it was a good challenge. And at the end, it's like, oh, I did it. I accomplished this. It's like, yes. And then from there, it's like, we're walking up to, the top of Fenway Park, and my daughter looks at me and says, we're doing this next year, but what's our next challenge? I'm like, well, graduation's first, and then we'll deal with what's next. But we did sign up for a 5K in July. That I'm like, okay, there's our next one, and we'll go.
And if people knew your whole story, I mean, this is very significant. Tell them the other part if you're ready for that.
Well, 10 months ago, I started my first shred, and I said at that point in time, I'd had a whole big issue. I have an issue with drinking. I know I have it. I know I got to stay away from it, and had really hit a all-time low because I had previously lost over 120 pounds with Isagenix, and then I gained back the majority of it and was just feeling miserable, and was able to recognize that I was going down that dark path, that I needed to make a change, and reached out to Mickey again and got started. Well, when I came back, and started Isagenix with the ER shred, I weighed 268 pounds on the button. And this evening, when I got home from work, if you guys can see this, I don't know if everybody can see that.
Do it again. So turn it one more time, and then let it sit like that. Don't move it from there. Yep, keep it there. And talk.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I'm trying to hold it there. That was when I got out of work today. I stepped on the scales, which I've been wanting to take out and shoot with my 12 gauge. But I stepped on the scales, and 168 pounds. I've hit the 100-pound mark using strictly ER shred protocol. And so,
okay, I want to see some swords for that. Oh my gosh. Wow.
ultimate goal was to hit that point before I took the scales out and destroyed them, along with a few other things that I need to let go of and shred for, in my life. And that is my goal. Because today it was pouring rain and I'm like, I can't take, I'm passionate about my firearms too. And I'm like, oh, I don't want to oil them tonight. So
Right.
we'll wait the weekend and
you are literally going to, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yep. Yeah. The slug is going in the barrel.
Oh yes. It will be. I will make sure.
So basically, you're proclaiming that you're gonna one up me on my scale smash.
Well, you can smash it or you can blow the damn thing up. I'm thinking fill it right, let it go.
I just love that we're doing this. I mean, I love that we're doing this, and I'm not shaming anybody if they want to weigh and if they find that motivation through data and tracking, and that's fine, or if they just like the scale or they like to weigh. But for me personally, to break free from that, I always refer to it as what it would do to me was give me a complex.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's back, just for with the scales. My son did a science project back in junior high referencing weight and the barometric pressure and the humidity level and everything within the house. And it's one of those things that but it's an addiction. It's just like anything else. It becomes an addiction of, oh, what's the number say today? And then you start putting meaning on yourself based on what that number is. And it means, it's like, okay, you got to stop that, because you can very easily feel just as bad about yourself based on a number as you can see. It's like, I feel great right now. I hit that point and it's amazing. But I also know that feeling of stepping on there going, well, I went up 3 pounds.
Yeah.
Gosh, now what did I do? And you start thinking back and second guessing and questioning everything. And it's like, that doesn't define me. It doesn't define who we are or anything about my health.
Jessica, we are so proud of you, so proud of your mentality. We're so proud of this accomplishment. It is significant, and you're really leading the way, showing other people what's possible. I only have one follow-up question for you. And I just want you to kind of, feel this out. What's different this time? At the risk of, I personally believe that with my own personal health, there's something different this time. And I don't anticipate having another personal health crisis myself. I'm just too damn tough now. I'm pretty damn tough now. So what about you? What's different this time?
The mentality is different, and the whole approach to the entire the way I approach food, the way I approach my day. It's simple. There's really a very little thought process that goes into, well, what's for dinner tonight? It's pretty simple. Something's coming out of the freezer. Yes, we raise most of our animals right here and, take care of that, but we're going to pull something out of the freezer as long as I have some butter. And if I don't have it, I'm going to make it. It's just the way it goes. It's, that's the staple. I don't have to worry about, oh, do I have this to go with that? And do we, all the garbage that goes with.
So almost everybody, Jessica, I got to follow up on that. Almost everybody would say, sounds like you have a very simple, toned down, we'll call them core components of a diet.
Yeah.
How does that not get boring? How does that not start to, become monotonous and tedious?
I have fun with it. I love, piecing things together, whether, okay, we're having turkey. Well, okay, let me see if I can, I have homemade sausage. I'm going to stuff that inside of it and wrap it with bacon, throw it on the smoker. It's different. It's not something everybody has. Same goes with, steak tips. Well, we can all make steak tips. Well, let's wrap them with bacon, fry in a little butter. Let's, just do something different with it. Maybe I'm going to roll it in eggs and then drip, cover it with bone broth. Just anything different, just to give it a different flavor, different, and have fun with it. It's one of those things that I enjoy doing, which I know my family hasn't started complaining yet. And this is the way they've eaten for the last 10 months. And there has been very little, we have the staples. Wow. We have steak, bacon, pork, chicken, sometimes turkey, depending on, right now it's turkey season. So I'm sure there'll be 1 or 2 hits.
Quality of life, where would you have rated quality of life on a scale of 1 to 10? Quality of life, overall health before ER shred, and where would you rate it now?
Before, I was miserable. I was looking for a way out, you know, and whether I drank myself to death or whatever, I was looking for a way out.
Yeah.
Now I get up every day and I can't wait to see what today's going to bring. You know, it's go to work and, you know, the guys complain we're picking litter. You know, who likes picking up other people's garbage, right? I look at my phone at the end of the day and realize I just walked 8.5 miles and I'm like, yes, success. You know, I walked 8.5 miles today. I could care less how much garbage I had to carry. I walked 8.5 miles today and I got paid to do it, you know?
Oh man, that's cool. Very cool. Well, I'm so happy for you. Congratulations. What would you say to all the people out there who kind of feel like they're at that state that you mentioned, that they're that far gone and just looking for a way out?
Look up, you know, get online, you know, seek us out. You know, one of us, you know, there's enough, as Coleman says, enough shred heads out there. You know, you've got to know whether you know, jump into the group, you know, start asking questions. We're here, we'll help. And believe me, it's life changing.
Yeah. Yeah. We love you. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Woo. Rod, I think it's only appropriate that we start with you because you can be my, you know, the guy that comes in and warms this sucker up for me. You out there, Rod Brooks? I saw him. Maybe he hopped off or something. Maybe we lost Rod.
I'm here.
He's
I'm
there.
looking
He's
for.
trying to. There he is.
Oh, there you are. Look at those handsome blue eyes. Hey,
I
Rod.
was looking for the mute button. I forgot I had that on there. Sorry about that. It's
So,
been a while.
Rod, so excited to have you on. Rod, can you quickly tell people where are you from and what is it that you find passion in doing?
Yeah, sure. That's a story. But anyway, I live in Washington State, and I lived most of my life on the gray side over in the Seattle area. Moved 3 years after retirement to a place called Lake Chelan in the high desert, where we get 300 days of sunshine and just have a beautiful, beautiful surroundings around us in a small town, a very small town. So I love that. And it's a nice change. And it's something that I'm grateful for every day. I look outside the window and I just go, wow, you know, it's nice to have these moments where you can just pick up on that. There's a lot of things I'm passionate about, but one of them that is why I introduced myself as Grandpa Rod to a lot of people is that not too awful many years ago, but I've been with Isagenix for 7.5, 8 years. And it was just before that my oldest son, who at the time had 3 children, my 3 grandkids, and he came to me and he said, he looked at me, he saw me and he said, hey, you know, Dad, long story short, he said, you know, Dad, I've given you 3 grandkids and you didn't know your grandpa. I didn't know your dad, my grandpa, and they're going to want to know you, but they don't have a vote. If you don't do something to get in better shape and be healthy, they won't know you either. And from that moment forward, I thought of myself, I personified what I called the Grandpa Project. And the Grandpa Project was really just me trying to get healthy so I could run and jump and play and be around for my grandkids. Well, long story short, again, that manifested itself in many ways. People started following me and they started liking what I was up to and what I was talking about. And people came on board and I created not really a nonprofit, but a thing, I'll call it, like a little movement called the Grandpa Project. And it's all based on the belief that every child deserves to know and learn from and be loved by a grandpa. And so it's trying to inspire men to be healthy and be present and get off of the career ladders as much as they can and get on playground ladders as much as they can. So, you know, that's what floats my boat. I've now got 9 grandkids from 18 down to 3. And the Grandpa Project is alive and well within me, and it's manifesting itself out in the community.
Hey, man. Wow. What a commendable thing. That's what I'm talking about. Like, we could change the world if ER Shred was, you know, the notion of people finding their passion, being able to pursue their passion, being well enough to do it, to actually take it and do it. So what has transpired for you? I mean, I know your original result. All we want to know is like an update on Grandpa Rod. What have you been up to? All that good stuff.
I really want to say too, first and foremost, I appreciate your remarks. I learned a lot just about you and your son and your family just in that 90 seconds. I also, it also triggered some thoughts within me that maybe I can talk to a bit, but to answer your question, it was December last year when two people that I really value their opinions, one, an Isagenix long timer, you would know who she is. I won't drop names, but you know who she is, and very successful. And then another fellow that you know, a mutual friend who I was doing life coaching with, Bill Mayer.
Right.
Both of them, two of them within a week, asked me if I had heard of ER Shred. And I heard it. It didn't match anything that I had ever been told in terms of nutritional process, the whole thing, that pyramid upside down and all that. And I said, well, you know what, I'm going to give it a look. And I took a look, and I thought, kind of like so many people said, well, I'm going to do this so people get off my case about it. It probably won't work for me. And gosh, I started in January is my first shred, and I did the 11 days, and I was like, holy crap. After a week, I was in just amazing changes going on, down 10, 12 pounds in the first 11 days. I keep this chart that has everything on it mapped out, and I couldn't get off the wheel. I mean, I wanted to do them every other week. I mean, I was going, and I did for about the first 5 months. I think I probably got 7 shreds in, something like that. I started living in between shreds in the healthy way that you guys have recommended, and has become a part of my decision making about what to put in my body. Sure. And at my very best, as I was going into summer, I was down 62 pounds, 45 inches, feeling really good. Had set a goal to join the 100-pound club, and gosh, here I am. It's a year later. This is my 1-year anniversary. I start my 12th shred tomorrow. I have to do it a little early because of our holiday travels and things like that. But that's where I've also learned to let that happen. That don't let the calendar run your plan. Plan your calendar and do that. I had a rough patch, to be totally honest. I had a rough patch during the summer because I let the fun and the joy of family, and also some life events that aren't so pleasant, where we had hospitalizations, and I let the emotional eating filter back into my life a little bit. And what I had a rough patch.
Hold on.
Rough patch because I let the fun and the family. I'm hearing my whole self over again. Events that aren't so pleasant.
I'm going to mute that iPad mini. Okay, go ahead now.
Okay, I was hearing myself a second time, but I think I was saying I hit a little rough patch.
Right.
And it was mostly called summer, but it was also called some life events. And what I came to realize is I was feeling it. I was really feeling in my body, not just in my mind about being disappointed in myself. I was feeling in my body discomfort. And I was saying, wow, I'd only been doing this for 6 or 7 months, and I now know what foods make me feel bloated. I know now how I'm feeling. And I came out of the summer really kind of, it almost was a master's class in what not to eat if you want to feel as good as I did in the spring and winter. And so I got back on board. One of the things I've learned, I can say with great confidence, is this is way more than a tool. It's not just a tool to go and use to lose 6 pounds or get, whatever, but as a lifestyle, but it is tool worthy. In other words, I now know that when I have a situation, I can just come back and do an 11-day shred and turn my life right back to the way I want it to be. And that's what I've been doing. What I wanted to share with you, Sean, and I know there's others that want to speak tonight, so I'll be as brief as I can, but what you triggered in your comments for me was a reminder that, I unpacked a lot of stuff over the last couple of years, 2 or 3 years. And I worked with Mr. Bill, our friend, a life coach, for 18 months, and he helped me unpack some of them. What I really discovered is one of my highest values is vibrant health and living vibrantly healthy. And of course, with the Grandpa Project, to have family connection and spiritual connection. And during this 18 months, what I unpacked was that when I was a child, I was always hearing that I don't know if I was told, but I was hearing that you're not good enough, that you're different, or you're not good enough. And what I did in later life, as I came out of college and into career, was I started living an I'll show you life. And it wasn't an I'll show you issue. It was like, okay, if I'm not good enough, I'll show you. And what that did is it kept me on those career ladders, and it kept me pushing for more and taking myself away from family and doing all the things that I now recognize that were just me trying to prove myself to somebody, but mostly to me. And with ER Shred, I'm now able, a year into it, and Mr. Bill said the same. He said, I can cure a lot of we can cure a lot of your issues, your situation, if you just master vibrant health. And you can master vibrant health if you just stay committed to ER Shred. And those are his words, and I was taking that in. And we went so far as to say, what are you noticing in this time period where you've been absent? And I think I wrote about this one day where I said, I learned from hearing about alcoholism and other addictions that people will say out loud, hey, I need a meeting, or I got to get to a meeting. And I was saying, wow, that's one of the things I noticed during the summer. I wasn't as present with our ER Shred community. I need a meeting. So Sean, there's just been a lot going on in my world. I'm just so grateful to have had this year, and just want to say thank you to you and Jesse and the board and all those people. I'm just so grateful as we go into this holiday season that even though I had these little ups and downs, these little roller coasters, I look at my chart and I'm down 55 pounds. I'm down 38 inches. I'm in sizes that are 3 or 4 less than I was wearing, and people notice, and my grandkids want to play, and just life's better a year later.
Why don't I live in Florida?
Congratulations. Dexter, where are you calling from again? Was it Bozeman, Montana?
Billings, Montana.
Billings, Montana. And who introduced you to ER Shred?
Mike and Jamie Hass.
Mike and Jamie. How do you spell the last name? I just want to probably thank them.
Hass.
Awesome. Okay. Thank you, man. And what was life like before ER Shred? What got you looking at this?
Well, what happened with me was a couple different things. So we ended up, we've got a 25 and 21-year-old. We started over in life, and we welcomed a new baby back in December of 2018.
You're back in diapers, brother.
Yeah, so she just turned 3 here, beginning of this, exactly a month ago.
Okay.
And so with that happening, I think I packed on all the pregnancy weight that my wife did. And then shortly after that, COVID hit, and so many people hit the COVID-19 weight on top of that.
Oh yeah.
And I was always sitting in between that 260, 280 range, and all of a sudden I just ballooned.
Yeah.
And I hit 300, and I just said, as soon as I hit 300, like, something has to give, right?
Well, that was your danger weight, brother.
Realistically, yeah. And then all of a sudden I hit 305.
Yeah.
And Mike has been a long time hockey friend of mine, coach, whatnot. he ended up coming down to my shop one day, and I looked at him and I was like, what happened to you? Like half of you was missing.
Yeah.
And he kind of just filled me in on the program. And I've never been one to do these crazy, fad diets of some magical pill. And he's like, here's the breakdown. It's a couple of protein shakes a day, and you get to eat the best steak you want every night. And I'm like, really?
I love how it's being shared with people in that way. Steaks, steak and shakes, baby. Steaks and shakes.
I was just like, that's it? Like, I can eat steak every night? And he's like, yeah. I was like, done. And so I had a pretty big problem with drinking sodas and energy drinks and that kind of stuff. And I went cold turkey and haven't had a single one since October 1st, since we started.
Oh, baby. Okay. What did you get off of? Let's hear that. What are all the things you stopped doing?
So things I stopped doing, was eating the majority of like fast foods. Okay. So if, with life gets crazy with a 3-year-old, even if we have to have like McDonald's, I'll get just a chicken sandwich, throw everything out, just eat the chicken.
Sure.
But on the normal day-to-day basis where I was stopping at McDonald's almost every morning for breakfast, those type of places, just, I'm out and about traveling for my job on the road. That was the convenient thing. So getting rid of that, getting rid of the 2 to 3, 4 sodas I drink a day, plus an energy drink. And I thought I needed those. I really did. I thought I had to have that to make it through the day.
Yeah.
And when Mike told me, he's like, yeah, you got to cut out soda. I was like, that's going to be my deal breaker. I don't know if I can do it.
Yeah.
And once I started, that was it. It just, I never looked back, and I don't crave it. It doesn't exist for me anymore.
Right. Man, hey, mad respect. We all throw up a cross, throw up your swords if you respect Dexter. He came off all that stuff cold turkey, and he hasn't had it since October, legit. And what is the result of taking back this control? What kind of benefits have you noticed in your life?
Kind of one of the big things for me, like, it was perfect timing. It was a God thing, I guess. I took delivery of a brand new 2022 Corvette, and I got so big, one of my good friends goes, how are you even going to fit in that thing? And it was like, that's the light bulb. So I was like, okay, I have this brand new sports car. I want to enjoy it with my daughter and my wife. I've got to be able to fit in it.
Yes.
And so that was a big motivator. And so beyond that, it's just, even like for Christmas, my family and friends, no one really likes getting clothes for Christmas, but a lot of them went out and found my favorite shirts that I was already wearing and bought them in already a size smaller.
Well, give us an idea, like how much have you lost?
So I started at 305, and right now I'm sitting in that 254 to 256 range. And it's every day, because I just started my 11 days again on the 1st. And every day I'm dropping another pound and a half almost daily. So I broke over that 50-pound crest.
50 pounds, you're fitting in the Corvette, you're fitting in the Corvette.
Yeah.
And you know what, by the way, we might as well put it out there, guys. If you need motivation, get yourself a Corvette.
Yeah. Right.
But for real, on the real, you drop the weight, you can fit in the Corvette, you're getting all these smaller size clothes. How do you feel?
Remarkably different. Like, joint pain is gone. Like, even sleeping, I used to really struggle. Like, I'm a side sleeper, and I would get just horrible like hip pain at night, only when I would lay down. It's the only time it would bother me. And I'd have to go take 1 or 2, 3, Advil PMs.
Right.
I haven't touched that since I started. So the sleep side's been great. It just overall energy in general, knowing that I don't have to have those crutches that I thought I used to have to go day by day. I don't have that anymore.
Brother, that's why you're a hero, because in reality, people can't get off what you did. What you've done is, in reality, people can't do it. Now, right. Can they do it? We know they can do it. We know anybody can do it. But that's what the tracks are. The tracks being the community and the protocol and, everything around ER Shred. It's it's the bridge. It's the bridge, and everybody needs that bridge to get from where they are to where they want to go. You've done it. Man, I'm just so happy about this. So you are a hero. You took back control completely. And here's what I'm going to tell you, brother, because you've got some cool things to look forward to. It starts to spill over into every other area of your life. Have you noticed yet?
Yeah, like things are just different. Like relationships with friends, family, you kind of get this aura, this connection, and people just almost seem like they're more drawn to what else are you doing in your life? Like, this is such a big change. What else are you doing? So
You ever going to go back? You ever going to go back to where you were?
I don't see how it's possible, you know. And one of the funny things was I was having this conversation with my wife, you know, in December, you know, when I hit right close to that 50 pounds, and I was like, how did you think this was going to go? She's like, you have the most addictive personality. She's like, I knew when you started this, you were 100% in and gonna live it like a cult. That she's like, there was no doubt that you weren't going to succeed at it, because that's just who you are. And she was 100% right. Once I got on the program, like, I just can't not doing this.
Thank you. I think the other big part of it is not relative to your addictive personality, which, you know, that, hey, my wife taught me that our weaknesses they're just strengths overused. That's all they are.
Right.
Our weaknesses, what we perceive as weakness, is just your strengths overused. Your ability to focus and to hyper focus, that's a strength. Buddy, it's so cool how powerful we realize we are once we unlock that combination. You know, the combination to massive treasure, massive reward, it's the same combination, and anybody that has the combo can unlock the door to control and freedom. You got to know the combination, and you crack that code, and that's why I think I'll never go back, because I'm like, I ain't going to go back to the way I was feeling, because I got this combo over here and it works. I ain't going to go back there.
Yep. Yeah. And just the health, like, you know, when Jamie and Mike were talking to me about it, and I said, you know, everyone will say that they're going to die for their kids or their children, right? It's a very common thing amongst parents, right?
Yeah.
Whoever talks about what are you going to do to live for your kids? And, you know, we had a brush with skin cancer. I did in March, and I was like, if this is the beginning, like, what's next? And so I had to make a change. And what am I going to do to live now for my youngest daughter?
It's going to make me cry, bro. That's awesome. Yeah. Whew, everything we do is for our kids. I know. But that kid, Heather dropped a comment on a, you know, she says, well, good luck with your Corvette and a 3-year-old, she says. So didn't.
Yeah, she loves it.
Does she love to go for rides?
Loves it. She just says, hey, I want to go in the blue car today. And we.
Oh man, I'd like to. Did you put a picture on your Facebook? I'm gonna go look.
I think it's on my Instagram. I'll
shoot it to me.
Yeah, I will.
I'd like to see that. Well, thank you so much for being here, Dexter. Is there anything that you didn't get to share that is on your heart that you're gonna? We never want someone to say, "Ah, crap, I meant to say this." Anything come to mind right now?
No, I mean, overall, I think it's covered it. And Tim and I, we have a lot of the same kind of goals that we didn't know that we didn't really even know each other, but we fell into the same group. And so we're in a group chat amongst our shredders, you know, when we're doing it. And it's crazy to see that another person who's been as dedicated is having almost pound for pound the same results. And when people are like, well, maybe it's just you, like, it's just your body that's been able to do this. I can't. I'm like, no, there's another guy in my group here.
No, dude, there's a whole bunch of us crazy lunatics.
Yeah. And I just tell people, hey, if you're willing to actually dedicate 11 days of your life, it's 11 days. You know, start on the 1st, and it's a countdown till the 11th. If you can make it to the 11th and you feel good, you'll just make it. There's no way you can't go back. So
respect. Thank you, brother. You're inspiring others. You graduate to superhero as far as I'm concerned, and all us ER shredders are concerned. Mad respect for you, and thank you so much, man.
Yeah, thank you.